Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody to our very first episode, the Nerd & Co.'s first segment of Movie Buzzed, where we're going to be talking about movies while buzzed. With us, we have our staff, or at least most of our staff, our editor and writer, Eisen Martinez, our staff writer, Eldon Betances, and your host for today, also writer, Jose Gonzalez. Today we're going to be covering Godzilla vs. Kong. It came out on Wednesday. Today is Sunday the 4th. Let's just get right into it, guys. What did we think of this movie?
Terrible.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
I gave the movie a solid 7.
I think that's fair.
That's too high.
I would rate it a little higher.
That's too high. Wow.
Higher than 7?
Higher than a 7?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun.
But 7 is like... 7 is all my fun. Yeah, 7 is all the fun. And then the 3 points that I'm deducting is because of all the other...
You mean because the useless...
I mean,
everything else.
The plot was a little contrived, but I didn't expect anything else from it.
That's why I gave it a 7. I didn't...
Because you didn't expect...
Yeah, okay, I didn't expect to go
so
watch
you're just going really hard, deducting those 3 points off of the...
Yeah, I didn't go into the movie theater like, I'm ready for an Oscar-worthy...
You don't have to have Oscar-worthy expectations, but you should want more. You should want more
what
out
else
of the
do you
franchise.
Want? What else do you want?
We
got a giant robot beating up like an axe-wielding monkey.
From Godzilla to Godzilla versus Kong, it's a big.
Yeah, they were
step
different
down.
movies, but like I personally, I just think it's impossible for them to have stayed consistent with the tone from Godzilla 2014 till now. They made Godzilla like
Why?
Because Godzilla in the 2014 one was a force of nature, a mysterious, powerful, epic, legendary force. They had to build that up. You cannot keep that same tone and introduce an axe-wielding monkey and a giant robot. It just doesn't add up.
A robot. They don't need to introduce that. They
But
chose to do it.
That's kick-ass.
All right,
the thing is, for a movie like titled Godzilla versus Kong,
It's even a silly title.
yeah, like the moment that happened,
the two names being in a title with a versus in between, obviously,
it's like,
is ridiculous.
It's like Batman or Superman.
They're aware.
Yeah, it's aware that all right, these two people are about to go crazy. So like even the advertisements everywhere on Godzilla versus Kong were like, oh, pick your side. Who's gonna
right? They had the T-shirts.
Yeah,
and
DC Comics even did like
and
a whole bracket.
And would you agree everyone
fighting.
was pretty much on the side of, well, Godzilla's obviously gonna win?
No, but that's what the thing.
Everyone thought that.
Well, everyone thought that.
Yeah,
so.
like there was.
I mean,
there was a lot of
held
people.
up.
There was a lot of people for Kong because people I felt like who chose Godzilla were like fans of Godzilla.
And also they expected
and also
Godzilla,
he's big as shit.
Yeah, they expected the height difference to be pretty.
Yeah, like
significant.
I was not expecting the Kong almost the same height as Godzilla. I thought he would be a little bit shorter from Skull Island. I was like, maybe he might be a little bit shorter.
But they kept on saying, Kong Skull Island was 40 years ago.
So I feel like
he grew up.
When I saw these two...
When you were watching the film, did you feel like there was a significant height difference? Or did you...
I
feel like they were the same height.
I feel like there was no height
Sometimes.
difference. It's just they felt like Kong was bigger because Kong is literally bigger.
But he was able to get on Godzilla's back pretty easily. I don't know. I think he's at
very
least
agile.
I think he's at least half the size of Godzilla, but girthier. He's girthier. He got a bigger head.
I mean, his mobility.
But I feel like because he's like a monkey, so like monkeys,
he is a monkey.
Yeah, so like their legs are not like always like they're always like squatting.
He's hunched over.
So he's gonna look like he's smaller. But I think they were like the same size. And yeah, when he was like the fights, I think that's what won me over.
The fight was the highlight. I mean, the movie was made for fighting, which goes back to our first point. I don't think it needed to be this crazy, dark, epic thing. I mean, we're talking about a franchise that's completely built on ridiculous monsters. The whole thing is about fighting. Godzilla the 2014 version was an outlier in creating a serious narrative in the franchise.
The last movie, I barely remember what the humans were doing. Because it was just Godzilla.
Man. They sure took up half of the screen, which is why I hated King of the Monsters.
Because I really just focused so much on Godzilla just going through, like, he was running a gauntlet through each monster.
And they didn't do that enough. They honestly, King of the Monsters was wasted potential because they spent way too much time trying to develop characters. Yeah. This is where I think that they figured out their flow in Godzilla versus Kong, because I don't care what the humans do. I know that they have to be there.
I don't think they figured out. I think they figured out a flow, I don't think they figured out
The flow.
Because
It can be better. It's not a perfect.
So
movie.
King of the Monsters set the precedent for what the human plotline was going to be moving forward. At that point, after King of the Monsters, you didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
no, I think it was a mistake.
For me,
I think King of the Monsters was a mistake. I think that they tried to like
The human plotline?
Yeah.
Or just...
They tried to balance like serious human plot development, but also let's have Godzilla beat up a 3-headed dragon who shoots lightning. They tried to balance both like tones, and they ended up half-ass on both of them. Whereas people complained a lot. They were like, "Oh, okay, well the human plot line, they spent too much time." We all heard this, right? In King of the Monsters, too much time on the humans. So they rectified that in Godzilla vs. Kong, and they were like, we don't care what the humans do. They're only here to kind of push the plot forward, and it worked.
I feel like they definitely, in a sense, buffed the human aspect. They were very much more involved and effective as opposed to the last 3 films. The humans.
You felt like the humans were more effective.
Yeah, every time they were involved in any conflict, any fight, they had an intricate part in shifting the tide of the fight. Multiple times.
I feel like the humans in this film were literally just expedition.
Yeah, but
they literally were just there.
They saved Kong. They saved Kong twice.
Yeah, I feel like they were there to
just with human-based artillery and weaponry. Beforehand, nothing affected even Godzilla. But
so it's actually cool for the humans to be involved. I just don't care about them, right? I know that the humans have to be there. What King of the Monsters tried to do is include humans and give them character development. That wastes time. I'm here for the monkey and the lizard. Godzilla vs. Kong used the humans to further the plot, to do things that affected the plot. But how much? I didn't even know their fucking names until the end.
No, I'll give you that. I didn't know their names
when the
either.
guy was like passed out, she was like, "Nathan, wake up, Nathan." I'm like, "Oh, his name is Nathan." This was like in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
No, that's a scarred brother. That's not Nathan. That's how I knew him as.
I don't know their fucking names, and it should stay that way. I paid for Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't care about Nathan. I don't care about that sexy baby girl who got blowed up by Kong. I don't care about any of these. I don't care about little Millie Bobby Brown with all her makeup. I don't care. You know, and I think that's a good thing.
They gave us more Kong and Zilla on screen time.
Yep.
Like way more from the beginning to end.
When you focus on character development, you sacrifice monster screen time.
And with the humans, they didn't give us enough screen time for them, which is good. But that's the part that I feel like they didn't find the flow. The humans that they had now were just like, they were so, I don't care. And it was just like, every time I saw the humans on screen, it pulled me away from the film. Yeah. And that's what I found annoying.
The hardest part of the movie was the beginning that spent a lot of time on the humans.
I clocked it. It was 32 minutes of useless human bantering and running around. 32 minutes in.
They gotta set it up.
And honestly, the only human on-screen stuff that I didn't like was Millie Bobby Brown and her stuff.
Okay, I think we can all agree that was the worst.
She was literally subplot. She was the main expedition useless. That I found useless. Alexander Skarsgård and his plot of the film.
That was Alexander?
That was a treat.
Yeah.
All right, Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah,
the most prominent actor there. The most noticeable?
He was the
not the most noticeable. Millie.
No,
Joe
I feel like the top build actor is probably not even him. I think it might be Millie because of
Millie's top build. So I guess the point is that the human characters were useless and they should have been. Great. Okay. All right, back to it. Let's talk about highlights from the movie, guys. What did you like? I know that you didn't like the movie. What did you actually like?
I liked the movie. Somewhat. Not a 7.
Did you don't like it?
Anything less than 7 is like, it was alright.
If it's above a 5, that means I like it.
That's a split decision.
We have different ratings.
So, highlights. What's the first... What was your first highlight that you enjoyed? The first thing... Was it just the first encounter between Kong and Godzilla?
No, actually what I really liked was that they kept on ramping it up, right? Because we all saw the first fight in the trailers, right? The whole boat scene and stuff.
Kong bows to no one.
And it was,
they really
they hammed that.
I hated that line so much.
And it was really slow. Like he fucking beat up Godzilla, and it was like a slow ass fight.
So. Like their first encounter fighting was so great because it's like Godzilla gets on the ship and he's like he smacks Kong.
He was scary.
Yeah, like the way he crawled into the honestly the cinematography nice. And the angles that they chose to give Kong, not Zilla. Just Kong, but Zilla was insane. Like the under like jaw of just so you can as a POV of a person with looking up, which is great.
I really got the scale.
Yeah,
I will say they had a lot of shots of Zilla just sort of from the neck up, like straight on.
Yeah,
as opposed to like every like ugly face.
Yeah, especially every other film where you're just looking up as the POV, but they had a lot of like right here.
That first fight when Zilla gets onto the ship. And he punches Kong. You're just in any other movie, like when he fights monsters, it's like, all right, that first punch, the monster's slowly getting up, but no, Kong just really rolling up and two-piecing him, then shoving him off the ship. Like, no, this is not just any other monster. Kong is here to fight.
But I love that by round 3, right now, it wasn't like both of them going super slow. Godzilla was on all fours, crawling, like slashing.
That was my highlight of the film. My highlight of the film is round 3.
Was Godzilla winning, bro?
Godzilla winning.
No.
And was just like, I'm sick of this fighting. I'm sick of laser beams. I'm just gonna come at you.
It wasn't like casual swipes.
Like he was literally he was just on all fours attacking him and then scratching his chest and then putting his foot on him and just not even killing him. Just like, I'm gonna yell like, you're gonna submit. I'm better. You're gonna submit.
I love how many times the instance between a bunch of different foes, everyone's trying to rip open each other's mouths to fucking breathe down their damn gullet.
That's
it's like, who's gonna try to breath someone first?
Like, just kiss me.
Kong tried to do it. Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, it was just.
And I love how Kong was not with the shits for any of that. He was just like, no, stop.
I actually just...
It was intelligible fighting.
I really loved the scene with them just yelling at each other.
Oh yeah, that was
for
good.
like a solid 10 seconds.
Just sizing each other up.
And then it's just Zilla.
It was just like, toxic masculinity.
It was just
all over the screen.
Oozing everywhere.
They gave like Godzilla like this character about him. Like he just gives him like this head nod. Like, okay.
Yeah, Zilla smiled at some point.
He did a
He smiled, and I actually didn't like that. I was like, bro. You're a giant lizard. Why are you?
He was like.
I gotta say, I'm actually pretty disappointed that they didn't give each other a dap at the end of the movie. I have to. It was a 50-50 chance. I really thought that Godzilla and Kong was just looking at each other. I just expected the Carl Weathers.
Oh yeah, Arnold
Schwarzenegger. You son of a bitch.
I really wanted it, and they didn't give it to me. So I'm a little disappointed in that.
The second round when Kong is going just crazy.
That was great. Yeah.
Like I've never every person that Kong has blown the laser beam to got hit. Kong was just dodging. He was just like doom,
I definitely like
everywhere.
how they balanced the usage of atomic breath throughout the film. They use it so much, but yet they still emphasize how effective it is when Kong is trying to avoid the shit out of it.
God.
And then he gets cut by it.
He gets scraped just a little, and it was bad.
It was bad.
You hear him like screeching. He's like, ooh,
and you see the damage on his back. It was fucking
super burn.
It was fucking bad. Because by that point, I was like, okay, is atomic breath even that bad if you get hit? Yep, it's pretty bad.
Is that what dislocated his shoulder? Or
No.
Nah.
He binked it on like a building,
Kong
right?
did something.
Godzilla
did something, and Kong
relocate his bones back into his.
It was like I was like watching Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, right.
He was like, I got it.
That was a John McClane move.
These giant monsters.
2 different films.
These giant monsters were a little too human for my taste. There was a moment where Mecha Godzilla pushes up Godzilla on a building and Muay Thais like with a knee. he gives him like a knee. I was like, why is that?
Bro, the
studied
Godzilla weird. When he was just like, he was taking Godzilla's head and every building, he was like, doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
It
was like very, the fight with, when Mecha Godzilla got introduced, I felt that's when it started to go a little downhill for me because I felt like
in terms of what, believability or
the believability it was
the fuck up for me
for real. I felt like
when
it was inconsistent.
We're in the
you had to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because
really?
I'm like, because it's like Godzilla fought and killed all these monsters in the last
and then
movie.
you watch Mecha Godzilla move and you're like, oh, that's why he's a threat.
And then
he's crazy.
And then Mecha Godzilla,
he knows Muay Thai.
All right, so your quarrel is just with the introduction of Mecha Godzilla, and at the time where they just decided to like just throw it in there.
First, I felt like Mecha Godzilla was just thrown in there.
Okay,
like,
so his inclusion in the film completely.
Yeah, like it's.
Do you feel like it
like
was,
the Apex felt like so out of place?
The Apex storyline, right?
Yeah, that whole storyline.
They didn't. I get is the Apex neural.
It's like
mentality.
it's like a alpha pheromone thing that happens where it's like giant monsters seek out other giant monsters because they have to be the only giant
even
monster.
though Mechagodzilla, what is it? A hybrid between Ghidorah's freaking.
Yeah, I think they were operating Mechagodzilla
Because they didn't have Ghidorah's
skull.
brain still. It just had the
No.
skull.
I just assumed that there's some like psycho neural net that
Yeah,
still
they
exists
explained
within his
that the
skull.
They're
skull-
just drift compatible.
That's what it was.
That's what I thought of.
It looked
fucking
like
Pacific
it looked
Rim.
like it.
Yeah, that's what it
The
felt
guy was
like
just
at
drift
one point.
compatible with Ghidorah.
The moment they were doing the helmet thing, like putting
Yeah.
the helmet
Right.
on and the Ghidorah, I'm like, this feels a lot like.
Yeah, so you're
Pacific
drift compatible.
Rim.
Let's say that.
My God, I have to say the accents between the Japanese guy in the machine and the leader of Apex. There was times where I didn't understand what they were talking about because this guy's a thick Spanish
Oh
accent.
yeah.
and this
Simmons of all.
Yeah,
names,
exactly. And then this
Simmons.
guy's a thick Japanese accent.
like,
There was
he's
a
like,
whole
"Don't
conversation
forget
where
Apex."
I looked over at the person next to me. I was like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" I didn't understand what they
All I
were
heard was
saying.
Apex.
He's like, and we gotta make the Godzilla big, large, very
like,
large,
Very grande.
very grande.
It's
He was
like
sipping on
Godzilla.
He had a whiskey in every scene. He was like, he's gonna be very big. You don't understand.
Godzilla would be the new big apex predator. And then you have this guy, yes, Godzilla.
And then he puts on the fucking helmet. And he's just like nutting.
Just all sides.
Yeah, and then that was another thing that bothered me. The trailers made it seem, and trailers. I know trailers do the trickery with.
yeah.
They think you think that this person is like the big bad, but it's somebody else. But even in here, none of the humans felt like they were the big bad, except like the CEO. But we thought the Japanese dude was the top dog.
No, definitely.
This
not.
dude had like 4 lines in the whole movie.
It was the Simmons you said.
Yeah,
the Spanish
he
guy.
had like 4
He was
lines.
the big guy.
And it was like the Spanish dude who's like the CEO of Apex. He was the.
Now-
and I hate his death in the movie.
Yeah,
that
they,
was
they wrote him
terrible.
off immediately. But just to be clear though, did Ghidorah hijack Mechagodzilla?
Yes.
That's what
That's what I
happened,
thought.
right?
That's
Yeah,
That's what I thought too.
I
what I thought.
felt like
It was
yeah.
Ghidorah in the body of
Yeah,
Mechagodzilla.
But once they
right?
mentioned it's Ghidorah's skull,
it has to be. That.
I was like, okay,
so-
I know
and is
where
that
you're
not
going.
badass?
that.
No.
No,
That's
no.
awesome!
No, I think
Okay.
that's badass.
I have to-
Ghidorah
it's-
possessing
It's
Mechagodzilla.
Ghidorah possessing it, and now Ghidorah's like, oh, I have a body, I'm gonna fucking body
No,
you
no,
now.
I appreciate that. I still believe in what the first Godzilla wanted to do.
Bro, we
and
have to
I feel like
abandon that.
and I
was
feel like
8
no,
years
no, no.
ago.
And I feel like King of the Monsters wasn't a far cry from what Godzilla was.
they tried it and it failed.
In what sense?
It was a shitty movie. That's the
That's in what way? What way was
No,
it a
no, no,
shitty
that
movie?
movie was a
How is it a
shitty
shitty movie?
because it spent too much
It
time on
was-
trying to develop human characters that nobody cared about and reduced
There was way more.
and it reduced the
human
screen
on-screen
and
time.
exactly and we have an opportunity with
And
Mothra,
so
Rodan,
basically,
and Ghidorah.
Here's what King of Monsters did it gave humans way too much screen time, and they try to do what the first Godzilla did, where it was like,
Yeah.
all right, we're not going to show you Godzilla or the monsters, but we're
And you
going to show
can't
you
do it. We
from
saw him
far away.
already.
But they did.
We
They
saw
did
him
that.
already.
They did that for like a good half of the movie, and then out of nowhere, no, we're just going to show the monsters 24/7. It felt
I
weird.
don't think that was the case at all.
Bro,
I think they did
nah,
a great
man.
job of still providing that atmosphere every time a kaiju was on screen or was preparing to be on screen. I still felt the same dread of Ghidorah appearing from the first time as opposed to the last time.
So
I
felt-
appreciated
I
that.
actually didn't.
I
Ghidorah, they
appreciated
built
that.
up Ghidorah in a great way in King of the Monster when he was rising out of the ice and stuff. That was like a
Yeah, like
fantastic
this, I
moment.
like the silhouette of
Wait,
of
so,
seeing his
okay,
wings
so you
and
guys
stuff.
didn't appreciate when Rodan was introduced and he he burst out and then they were trying to escape him and they were running into the fucking thundercloud that was King Ghidorah.
Yeah, dude, I like
Okay.
that, but they didn't spend enough time on the fighting. They squandered the potential of 3 high tier Godzilla compatriots in Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra.
And honestly,
it could have been better. It could have been more. They
In
spent too
my
much
opinion,
time.
I feel like that movie should not existed.
What?
Oh,
Hold on.
hot take, hot take. I'll take a drink.
There's a whole segment of hot takes.
Hot take.
I feel like King of Monsters should have been Godzilla. The only other monster besides King Ghidorah and Godzilla that should have been in there was Mothra.
You don't like Rodan?
No, it's not that
I'm gonna put Rodan if I
It's not that I
Where's-
don't like Rodan. I feel like they should have done like what the Japanese originally did. I feel like
My
there
God.
should have been a movie where it's Godzilla and
The
Rodan.
problem wasn't that there's too many monsters. It was that there was too many humans.
No.
The-
There was too many humans. Yes. But I feel like It's just overwhelming. Like with.
No, you think that this is suffering from a Spider-Man 3 complex. It's not.
You didn't find that scene ridiculous?
Which
where
one?
It's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla versus giant monsters. Yes, it's ridiculous. Yes, it's ridiculous, Eldwin. That's the point.
I felt like it was just too ridiculous in Kings of Monsters for both parts.
I feel like
more so than
I feel like
humans.
all right. I feel like the introduction of the kaiju was good. The consistency of afterwards, maybe not as much. But fuck, Godzilla versus Kong was just here you go, and that's it.
This was an excellent movie, right? And I don't think the rest of the movie should be held up to the same standard because they can't be held to the same standard because it was a ridiculously good movie.
Why not? It's within the same franchise. Why can't it be held up to the standard of the other films?
Because it was positing Godzilla as like an epic, ethereal, something greater than us. It has to set up Godzilla to be this epic fucking being. And then they did it, and we saw him, and he beat up 2 monsters, and it's over. That's it. We saw him. You cannot do 3 movies with the same theme, because we literally already nutted at the end of Godzilla 2014. We saw him.
What if there was more nuts?
There's no more nut.
I had more nut.
They edged us. What was his name? Gareth Edwards was just... Is Evans? Gareth Evans? Gareth Edwards. It's Edwards, I think. The director.
Yeah,
anyway,
keep going.
He was just blue balling me. The whole movie. Blue balling us. Right? And then by the end of it, we nut.
Yeah, like, I feel like for any movie that has, like, a sequel and a third one... any movie that has a sequel or a third one, you can't just keep that same standard. You have to one-up from the last one.
Can you imagine them like trying to hype up secretly? Like, bro, we already saw Godzilla like 4 years ago. We saw him like, King of the Monsters came out in 2019, 5 years after Godzilla. Yeah, I saw him, bro.
I think if King of the Monsters did that, let's not show Godzilla fully,
I would have been mad.
People would have been mad, and some people were like, okay, but if they did it again for the third one,
no. Honestly, there were some like weirdos for Godzilla 2014 that I remember reading the comments for that were already mad. They spent too long hyping up Godzilla. They should have just showed him, right? And that was for a legitimately good movie.
I disagree with them.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, me too. I disagree with them, but I'm just saying that people already had that argument for the first movie. If they kept trying, but that hype up shit,
they're always gonna be the minority hearsays.
Fine. I'm just saying that even that small minority speaking up on a movie that was dead ass good, like they could not continue that hype up shit for subsequent movies because like it you just couldn't. It was exhausted.
I feel like but directors ignore stuff like that on social, like small minorities like that. There's always gonna be that negative commentary on social media. Sure. You can't avoid it.
You can't avoid it. I'm just saying
it's gonna be there.
I'm just saying that they already exhausted their hype up moments. So it's like if even a small base is complaining about it for the first movie, can you imagine how many people would complain about it if they continue doing it? You can't tease me on Godzilla anymore. I saw him already. You have to double down now.
I still think they did a fine job in King of the Monsters. It wasn't
a fine job.
It wasn't a tease anymore.
So do you
got more.
So which movie do you find to be better? King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. Kong?
In terms of
overall for right now.
Overall, Godzilla.
King of the Monsters?
No, King of the Monsters versus
Kong.
Versus Kong.
King of the Monsters.
Man, no, dude. No, they spent too much time. I think you gotta watch King of the Monsters. Yeah. Man, I was in the theater.
No. I'm not gonna continue. Yeah, you ignore the human element, but you can't when it's in the film. It's a part of the film. I'm not. If I compare the human element to King of the Monsters to Godzilla,
but they were wasting time. That's my point. They wasted time.
It doesn't matter. It's still a part of the film. And when most of your film is just giant monsters fighting each other, it is fun. Yes. But as a film, subjectively, King of the Monsters was the better film.
No, it was not a better film. It was not a better film. We all came here for the Godzilla versus the monsters.
The first film, you all came for Godzilla. You want to see Godzilla, and you didn't get much of Godzilla. And you still liked the film.
We got like half Godzilla.
Godzilla was only
in the first movie.
The Godzilla was under 20 minutes at the most in that film.
Are you counting like his sneaked screen time?
Yes. It's under 20 minutes.
I don't think he's counting his sneak screen time.
It was under 20 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, appearances of Godzilla in the first one was under 20 minutes, and we still
all
all
full
enjoyed
appearances. I'm sure that you looked this up.
No, just tail, fin.
Are you serious? 20
Yeah,
minutes?
bro.
Well, they did a fantastic.
No, it's
I think we all forget how much the human element was prevalent in the first film.
human element in the first movie. First of all,
I almost hate talking about the first movie because it was just an outlier. I can't
It's not
say
an
that
outlier.
enough,
It's the
bro.
beginning.
and the first movie was
No, it's an outlier to every Godzilla movie that ever existed.
so here's the first movie.
It started a new lineage.
Okay, fine, and even in this current franchise, it's still an outlier because it's of higher quality, right? It actually takes itself seriously.
And the reason why I feel like the human element in the first movie was way better than all the rest of them was the first movie went off of two characters that just came off fresh of Age of Ultron.
Okay.
I call it, that's a stretch.
Yeah, where are you going with this?
So
Elizabeth Olsen. And
Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah, so automatically,
And Quicksilver.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Everybody was immediately like, okay, they're a couple in this time. Let's get into it because their face was plastered
stuff,
all over the trailers and everything.
What's your point, man? What does that have to do with the quality of the movie?
I don't think they were a pull at all.
I
don't think they were a pull at all. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, thank you.
He wasn't Quicksilver. He was Kick-Ass. Sorry.
No, but in this movie, I feel like their story better was flushed out as the human element than all the other movies.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree.
And even though Kong was barely showed and everything, yeah.
And you know why? I agree. It's because they had the luxury of doing so. They didn't have to show Godzilla. All they had to do was hype him up. And if all you have to do is suggest Godzilla and hype him up,
and it was good
time to
because it was
characters.
like all right, we're gonna hype Godzilla up. Yeah. Guess what you're gonna see him fully in the next movie.
And how do you hype Godzilla up? You make the whole story with Bryan Cranston and this guy's father. You have so much time to develop characters because you don't have to show Godzilla. But after you've shown Godzilla, you do not have time to develop characters because now you have to show Godzilla.
Yeah, because once you show me full Godzilla fighting this
beast,
I don't want to
see.
I don't care about anybody else. I just want to see this dude
because
beat up monsters.
It's not called Aaron Taylor Johnson and Friends. It's called Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
But you all like the film, right?
The first one.
Godzilla. Yeah, because they, like I said, they had the luxury. The subsequent movies did not have the luxury of not showing Godzilla. Let's see, Zilla, or as they call him Zilla, but it's the movie Godzilla in 2000 with Matthew Broderick and...
the one where he gave birth to the Godzilla babies in Madison Square Garden?
Correct.
That movie was terrible.
It was terrible.
But it was very
actually,
entertaining.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually have no idea where I was going with bringing that movie up. Really sorry about that, guys.
That movie was fun.
It was stupid. I have to watch it again. It's been a while.
But why is it that we can't hold the rest of a franchise to the standard that the first film set for it? It is
okay. Let me tell you why.
It is the structure.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
But to what standard?
To the standards of the first movie, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because they're just different movies. Are we judging Godzilla versus Kong, or are we judging the franchise? As a franchise, it is inconsistent, and it is probably average to below average, right? This is if we're judging it as a franchise. If we look at them as individual movies, Godzilla is fantastic. King of the Monsters is average. You know, it depends on how you want to ascertain and judge these movies.
I still want to.
You want to judge it as a franchise movie?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So you're
as a franchise from what the first film in the franchise
is overall.
If you want to be strict and you really, really want to go hard on it,
even
fine.
Even overall, beside the only thing that keeps them.
But the whole franchise is weak if you go by that metric.
Yeah,
and that's fine. I never argued that it wasn't.
That's what I want to say. As an overall franchise, I personally think it's weak because
it is. It's inconsistent
because how inconsistent and different each film.
But I'd agree with you, and I never said at any point I wouldn't agree with that. I agree with that completely.
But do we go to the movies to try and derive as much enjoyment as we can out of every film? I see what they did with Godzilla vs. Kong, and I can tell what they wanted me to do was have a good ass time.
Yeah.
And I sat there wanting to have a good ass time, and I had one because if I sat there and I held it to the standard of all the other films before it, I would have a less good time.
And it's fine.
And I don't want to have a less good time.
You can enjoy a film and it can be fun, but I don't want to have to feel like as a viewer, if I throw away... If I throw away at least half of the fucking film that was based on the human element, I have to throw it away to appreciate another half? No, I don't want to have to do that.
No, because if you're judging it within the film... I know exactly what
I'm
they want
judging
me
it by
to
the
feel.
franchise standard, which
So-
is set in the first film.
Fuck the franchise.
The first film is what sets the standard for the franchise.
is
So
weak.
that's what I'm saying. So when
It's
you
a weak
watch
franchise.
films like the only other big franchise I can reference off is like the MCU. So when you watch an MCU film and you watch something like Guardians, the first one, great or whatever, and then you watch something like Captain Marvel, like right after, you're just like, now are you just like judging the Guardians movie at the same time? Like, okay, well, this is a
because
it's tough to judge movies off of other movies. I mean,
the first phase was the foundation, and Guardians was in the second phase, granted, but the first phase set a great precedent. I think Guardians fell into that structure, and I think it did well. Captain Marvel is far removed from the foundation of what made the MCU good.
When I watch like
subjectively,
when I watch movies that have like franchises, like Harry Potter had 9 films. Within those,
it was so tonally consistent.
With those 9 films, they were consistent. But even within those 9 films, there were still ones like the Half-Blood Prince.
But Harry Potter doesn't have room to finagle much because it still has one.
It's based on source material.
It's one source material.
But even
as opposed to a plethora of comics throughout the years,
I understand.
decades,
But even based off like that one source material, there are films that will fall short of the previous or the next one.
And that's
like the Half-Blood Prince.
They can fall short. All right, so we're starting up our brand new segment where we're trying to answer every single question from our mailbag as fast as possible. Everybody gets one answer, and we'll do it as quick as possible. Our first question is from Mark from Ohio. What is the likelihood of a legendary Godzilla prequel from Hollow Earth depicting the battle between Godzilla and Kong species?
The likelihood that we see like a prequel on it?
Yup. Sorry, Mark.
I don't think we'll see one.
Yep. Likelihood. Very low, Mark. Why would you ask that question?
Stupid question, Mark. Not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. They finished it up.
That's it, Mark. Sorry you wasted your question.
You're a terrible... Damn.
Anyways, you're banned.
Johnny from Nevada. Do we believe that Godzilla's species were villains, guardians, or have a heavy alpha complex?
Alpha complex, easy.
Alpha complex. They are not villain. No, they're just animals that fight.
Yeah, I think it's just all alpha complex for all the kaiju.
Johnny from who lives in Vegas.
That's vacation.
Nevada. You are a sinful person.
He doesn't even have an answer to your question. He's just calling you a sinner. Sarah from Boston says, the series often receives backlash for its human plotline rather than its kaiju brawls. Is this a flaw common to Hollywood hits or a simple error found in most kaiju films?
Because we have movie like Pacific Rim, which is they were able to balance both.
No, what?
The first one?
The second one. The first one may be the second.
Yeah, the first movie balanced a good human
It
kaiju,
balanced it,
very well.
But we talked about the franchise.
The second one.
It was shite.
Yeah, the second one was bad. What is it? Charlie Hunnam didn't come back.
I mean, the series, this legendary series deserves to get backlash because it didn't know how to balance the human versus the kaiju fights. This one definitely did more kaiju fights than human plot lines, and I thought it was better for it.
Yeah. Even though there wasn't a balance, it was still better because the kaiju got the more on-screen time.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want more kaiju screen time.
I want more human development.
What?
Aizen's the type of man who watches a monster film and doesn't want to see monsters.
No. If it's gonna be on screen, it's gonna take up more than
Go watch a lady of a portrait on fire or something.
No. If it's gonna take up at least half of the film, I want to be invested to an extent. Why would you guys want to just throw it away?
Go watch a drama.
So you guys want to go to watch a film that it's only half of it you're invested in? Why wouldn't you not want to be?
I'm personally invested in the fights
because
that's only at least at the very maximum 50%.
But this
movie, why do you not want to exert more than half of your interest into the film?
For them to invest more of that.
Because this movie
It's
literally
called Godzilla
versus Kong. I want to see nothing,
That's
honestly.
what I'm paying for.
But Godzilla and Kong fighting.
If they take the human element out of it, you're gonna complain there's no human element. Why are they fighting?
No. You have that, but don't put more human element. I don't want no more.
It's not the point of putting more human element. It's to make them make sense and have them established in the universe, in the story. The first film, it made sense to an extent. Then they started deteriorating from film to film. Make them make sense. That's it. I don't need it to be the forefront.
Sarah from Boston, I don't think you're getting an answer today. Sorry, Sarah.
Fuck you, Sarah.
Watch the rest of our podcast for more answers. Jamal from New York. What happened to the other kaiju? That's a great question. What's your theory?
We're gonna tell you, Jamal.
What's your fan theory?
I think they just aged out or died from the war. I think Godzilla.
You think there was a war? Whoa! This is a
Hot take.
I need to.
I think Kong and Zilla's people had a whole war.
Kong and who?
Godzilla species.
You think this is implied by the fish
Yeah,
tail
by
on
the
axe?
Between King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus.
No, he's talking about before even Godzilla. We're talking about old times.
Oh, so we're talking about the kaiju that didn't exist at the end of King of the
I'm
Monsters.
the axe and Kong Skull Island, the fucking hologlyphs. I'm going through all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do think that there was probably a war. I think that's fair to say. The cathedral that the Kong people set up.
That was man-made.
Dude, it was obviously made by the Kong folk.
Where does it show that it was man?
There's a doorway to enter the cathedral.
He thinks that doors can only be made by men.
Okay, you show me monkeys or apes that made doorways.
But
it's a super crazy evolved monkey.
It's a monkey.
It's not just a monkey.
Okay, you tell me the evidence of it not being just a monkey.
You tell me an evidence of monkeys that can just
monkeys can sign language. That's fine.
Do you actually do you absolve the point that they were able to make the axe? Did the monkeys make the axe?
Not that they were able to make it. But
did they make the axe?
But their need to make it.
Okay, so the Kong folk made the axe.
Do I think the Kong folk made that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
They created
a tool.
They can't make a door.
But okay. So let me.
They made a tool.
Let me rehash.
Make a door.
Let me rehash my statement. The reference for making such objects, right? And for making a doorway and an axe that are clearly human made.
No, it's not clear.
Yes, it is. Why would they need? What is the need for a construct of a doorway to enter any area? For an ape.
Humans don't need to. What is the purpose of us creating a door? As humans, we don't need
Neanderthals
doors.
didn't create doorways. Show me any example of a Neanderthal creating a doorway.
Let's get into history, right? Who created a door? Why did Homo sapiens create doors or the concept of a door?
No, Neanderthals didn't create doorways.
But Homo sapiens, why did we create doors?
But why did we create doors for the simple purpose of privacy? To keeping things locked out. Now, Kong and his species are far more.
So you're saying they're on the same wavelength as a Homo sapien currently?
You are attributing human logic to a giant science fiction monkey.
Why shouldn't I? Why is there no standard that is set?
Because it is a giant science fiction.
If you want to set that standard, then you have to explain it to your audience to explain why it's even capable of that.
You need a little bit of suspension of disbelief if you're
I can suspend it because there's giant monsters fighting. I can suspend that sort of belief.
If you're going to suspend that, you have to suspend a little bit when they show tools and applications.
I don't think so. I think we should retain some sort of
all right. So what I'm saying is,
why shouldn't you? Why should you relinquish all of it?
Because the idea of an advanced simian species creating something as simple as a door is way easier to believe than a giant monkey with an axe fighting a Godzilla lizard.
No, but don't tell me when to limit it. Yeah, give me the axe.
All right,
so give me the doorway. But it can only let us speak.
A door is way more believable than everything else.
Don't cut it off. So look
at their species.
Great question, Jamal.
Hold on, so look at their species. Say they lived in some type of monarchy where there was an actual King Kong that ruled over the other that ruled over all the other apes, and now where Kong was in the movie, that whole area, the throne he sat on, that's the King's throne. Yeah. Now, what is all right, the other apes who have to protect their king, would have like some type of Kingsguard of apes, like lieutenants. Now, what can I do?
He set up a whole shit.
What can I do to keep? What can I do to keep other apes from seeing my king 24/7 out? A door. Or some type of wall of privacy.
I'm not gonna lie to you, you lost me at Ape Lieutenant.
Bro, they're 100. Listen, they're.
Hey, if Planet of the Apes were able to do it flawlessly, I can believe it in this movie.
These ancient apes were 100% advanced enough to have created tools like an axe.
Their mindset is not the same.
No, you stop right there. Why? What other evidence aside of them making an axe do you?
Bro,
there's no evidence.
You don't
between
need
Skull Island and now.
Bro, you don't need evidence for a completely fictional concept. They presented it to us when they showed us the axe and the throne and the cathedral.
The fact
it's
that
they did it.
Okay, so
they did it.
So
here it is.
So suspension of belief. Disbelief. How far are you willing to go? Depending on the genre. If it's sci-fi fiction, are you willing to just go all the way and just think, yeah, whatever, I'll believe any of it?
When it becomes to something as crazy as like
but
Kong versus Godzilla.
No, but any film. You could take The Thing. You could take fucking Spaceballs.
It literally,
you can take any
film. It literally depends.
When do you stop believing? When do you stop
it
saying,
depends.
okay, it's up to the film to decide?
I'm actually trying to figure out like where you stopped believing, like where they showed the cathedral and where they showed the throne and where they showed the tool, where you were like, King Kong's not capable of that. How the hell do you know?
No, it wasn't even King Kong.
Or his people.
When I saw the when he found the handprint to the Thor,
sure,
I was like, okay, that's interesting that they have a doorway.
But why does a door have to belong to humans? I don't understand why that's a concept.
Why does it belong to apes or monkeys?
Because they just showed it to us. He opened a door.
So show me evidence of any monkey.
No.
Making that was door.
It. That was the evidence.
That is King Kong. It doesn't exist.
The fact that he opened the door that's ancient from an ancient handprint shows
someone made the doorway. That is my point. Someone made the doorway.
No, you misinterpreted it.
So you're assuming.
How am I misinterpreting?
So you're assuming that
because they had a handprint of a giant monkey on the door.
So you're assuming men.
There is a giant doorway.
So So I'm saying you're assuming that are you assuming
doors are for humans?
Are you assuming a human made that doorway or
I'm assuming someone made the doorway, and I don't think it was Kong or any of his species on the Hollow Earth.
The only other species on Hollow Earth that could have made that doorway.
Please tell me.
It's just dinosaur people.
Would have been just humans that died out.
No, I actually there's no evidence of humans.
But that's the thing.
There's no humans on Hollow Earth. Why did you say that? There was no humans on Hollow Earth.
No. I'm not saying there's humans on Hollow Earth. I'm saying if that's the only other way. If you're not believing that Kong built,
don't give him that. Don't give him that.
No,
don't give him that.
Oh my god.
This motherfucker.
If you're not believing that, then the only other thing is you can believe that you're believing is that a human built that.
Humans, yeah, that's what he thinks. Humans were not on Hollow Earth.
There's more evidence.
It was a big door, only to fit monkeys.
There's more evidence that Kong's species built that door than humans being on that planet.
It's not that humans themselves built it. I'm saying they got the blueprint from humans. So I'm not saying they built it.
No, they didn't.
They couldn't have.
That's
no, bro. It was monkey. This
you think that was monkey business?
This motherfucker thinks that
doors.
He thinks that doors are like an elite human experience.
Oh my god! So you show me where in the evolution chain where monkeys
are a 21st century concept.
Other than monkeys or Neanderthals start making fucking doorways.
When was the first door invented?
Google it.
I understand.
Google it.
Here's the thing.
Google it, please.
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you have to believe that. You have to believe that Kong's species built that doorway because it's literally impossible for man to be there.
Greg from Dodge City, Kansas says, "Is this the strongest Godzilla?"
Like, all right. So, do you mean like, is this the strongest Godzilla franchise, or
no? Like this particular Godzilla within Legendary's franchise, is it the most strongest Godzilla?
I don't have enough lore to say yes or no.
I've seen probably four.
I've seen a couple. I've seen the original Gojira.
Yeah, I've seen the original Godzilla. I've seen him versus Mecha. Him versus.
You have to say Gojira so you look cultured, man.
Okay, I've seen Gojira versus Mecha. I've seen him versus King Ghidorah.
Did you see him when he was sliding on his tail?
I seen when he did Kung Fu with like Godzilla Jr.
Do you remember his son?
Yeah.
His son. He had a son.
I mean, listen, just based
Okay, off of that, this is the strongest Godzilla.
Yeah, off the graphs that I've seen, this Godzilla is exponentially bigger than every Godzilla that's ever been put out.
What I would
He's
say,
huge.
this is the strongest Godzilla, but just like other versus movies they do, his strength isn't consistent with the other films.
How so?
He was able to just go toe-to-toe with every monster in the last film, and here he's struggling with an ape and struggling with the Mecha Godzilla.
Actually, I think we have an expert on call that actually has a bit of more knowledge.
I think we do, yes. We have him on call, actually.
He's actually a staff writer.
Staff writer at the Nerd & Co.
Michael, what's his last name? Pena.
Michael
Pena. He's an expert. Well, let's give him a call.
Let's call him in and see what he has to say.
And then let's see what he has to say about this.
Hello?
Hey, Michael. This is Jose Gonzalez from the Nerd & Co. We were actually on a couple of questions that we needed your advice on. Greg from Dodge City, Kansas said, "Is this the strongest Godzilla?" And I want to know what you, as a Toho sort of expert, thought about that.
Oh, yeah, sure thing. No, not the strongest. Not even close.
I mean, as I read on graphs and things like that, this is an exponentially bigger Godzilla than we had ever seen before. Why is this not the strongest Godzilla?
We're looking at basically power and ability. This one hasn't been developed yet in Legendary. We've seen, radioactive blast. We've seen powers that he can only gain for maybe like 5 minutes. King of Monsters being one where Mothra's death led to his ability to absorb radiation and expel it. We don't really have a full grasp of what his abilities are in this universe. Again, him being easily defeated by Mechagodzilla in this most recent film. Comparatively to, let's say, even Millennium Godzilla,
Okay.
has picked up Mechagodzilla with almost with one hand and tossed him. Now, of course, we're looking at these new films which are trying to portray a more realistic, take on him. So they're not going to make him as super strong as the Japanese did.
Now, Michael, it's funny you should mention all of these facts. We got a question here from California, from a Tobias. He says that this has been established as a fan favorite adaptation of Godzilla. Does the legendary depiction deserve our respect? I feel like I've gotten your idea of what we think of that so far, but can you elaborate on whether or not this depiction deserves our respect?
So are we looking at just this film alone?
All three.
We're looking at the franchise,
all three. If you're talking about the original kaiju fans, I think this modern generation, they're gonna love it. This was all fan service, and not just fan service for kaiju lovers, but fan service for Americans. Hollywood.
Okay.
Are you confirming that Godzilla is only American?
Godzilla is American, ladies and gentlemen.
Godzilla is defending the American way. Yes. I do. Especially comparatively speaking, where you have the previous generations, previous generations of Godzilla, where we had him strictly either destroy or protect Japan, and it's very on the nose that this Godzilla, the legendary Godzilla, is 100% focused on America. He's really focused on protecting the American way. So I want to call him patriotic Godzilla. But again, fan favorite. If you're looking at the overall landscape for every single kind of kaiju lover, no, I can almost, without a doubt, speak on behalf of the entire kaiju fans that this is not the fan favorite.
Okay.
There's a big, if you're looking at trying to look for an average, a medium where most kaiju lovers will be like, hey, what's the best Godzilla film? A 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, you're gonna get Godzilla vs. Destroyer. That was everything we wanted to see in a Godzilla film.
We could not get that.
Definitely not.
There was not enough time. There was not enough time.
Not enough time. You would have to build up the. I mean, that film Godzilla has 2 kids, one adopted, one not.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he has two kids. One of them is slaughtered. So again, you would have to sort of build up a repertoire of us falling or sympathizing with his children, which they did in various films, not good ones, but they did. And then not only that, have that kid try to replace Godzilla, die, and then Godzilla, who's dying himself from radiation poisoning. I don't understand that one either. Also sacrifice himself to destroy this godlike, this godlike creature.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a couple of things that's kind of hard to
depict in
present.
So,
I mean,
Michael, last question.
Yeah, last question.
This is not about Godzilla. It's about Kong. Can Kong's people create a door?
Oh, including him into the previous conversation.
Are they capable of making a physical door, like a door to their home?
They are not Homo sapiens. They don't make doors.
Apparently, this ability is
okay,
exclusive
so-
to Homo sapiens.
you're asking, what do you mean by Kong's people? What are we
So in the
Apes,
movie,
man,
when they're in the
apes.
Hollow Earth, Kong opens a door. Aizen is in disbelief.
This is where he draws the line.
This is where Aizen draws the line of the movie, and he thinks it's terrible because they created
They made a
door.
cathedral, Michael. They made a cathedral.
Especially that scene where you see him put his handprint over.
Yeah,
his
man.
sister's Handprint. I mean, there is so much. This film, out of the blue, introduced a whole new lore that the other 2 films, and actually let's say 3 because of Kong and Skull Island.
And that's okay. That's okay.
man.
I know, that's okay. They didn't
They
even
are-
touch on it. The biggest one being, Godzilla's people, which I didn't even know he had people up until
Had
this point,
people
but he has
either.
people.
Family.
And Kong's people were at war for generations ago in this secret place that no one's even talked about up
Aizen
until now.
is.
So you're asking me, do I think these giant gorillas made a physical door?
Yeah, man.
No, I
Of course they made it.
Why can't they make that?
Michael, that's all the time that we have. Thank you for answering our questions. You are a valued member of the team, and we can't wait to have you on the next episode.
They don't
alright,
need
man?
doors.
Thank you so much, brother.
Humans.
So we are at the end, unfortunately, of our incredible review for Godzilla vs. Kong. Guys, any final thoughts before going forward?
The humans were worthless.
I give the movie a 7 out of 10.
5.
If you're here to just watch a monkey beat a giant lizard, vice versa, this is it.
I had a lot of fun. 8 out of 10. This guy gives it a 5 out of 10.
You should want more out of your films. Please set a standard for yourselves. Why is this so hard? Don't let their lower civil expectations influence you. Okay, demand more as
He's
a
right.
viewer. Please.
Jose,
Expect more. Expect more.
We should demand more of our movies, and I will stand by our editor and our glorious staff writer, Eisen Martinez, on that. So we should expect more from our movies, and I would expect more from our content, okay? Because we got a lot of great things coming for you guys.
Content.
We have a lot of great things coming for you guys going forward. A lot of more movie buzzed, a lot of more drinking, a lot of more watching, a little more writing. All right, in 3 weeks, we have Mortal Kombat, guys.
Mortal Kombat.
This is a huge moment for us.
Get over here.
We are going to be covering Mortal Kombat in the same format with these same beverages.
Oh yeah.
Coming at you in 3 weeks. There's some articles going to be going up in the meantime. Is there anything else that they should be expecting? Oh, my God, how can I forget? A giveaway. Guys, this is going to be at the Nerd & Co.'s very first giveaway. We have 3 prizes going out to 3
Ooh.
very, very lucky followers. And we're going to be giving that to you guys very, very soon.
I'm excited.
Expect it in a couple of days. I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Besides, give it some posters.
How many places do we have? First, second, and third place prizes.
3 places, Eisen. I'm glad that I'm drunk enough to answer your question.
The
first places.
3 places. You have to like. With the prerequisites, you have to like, you have to follow, and you have to tag. That's essential. Tag 2 people in a post of ours, please. We will be monitoring, so we will know who did and who didn't.
And that's gonna be the giveaway. Stay tuned for more. I want to thank Eldon Betances. I want to thank Michael
Big
Pena.
Man Betances.
I want to thank Michael Pena as our Toho expert for calling in. Our resident editor and writer, Isaac Martinez, and myself, Jose Gonzalez. Thank you for stopping by, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
We're gonna get drunk now.
We're gonna continue these drinks.
R.I.P. to my liver.
Cheers.